friends, thank you so much for joining me today. This is part 2 of the video that I started last week. I'm not sure what we will call it. It's an eclectic mix of things that I'm talking about. I spoke about my Annie's quilt kit that came unexpectedly in the mail. I spoke about my visit to Carey Quilting Company and what I purchased there. And today I am going to talk about some fabric exchanges that I did on Fabric Share USA, which is a Facebook group, and a project that I'm working on today with fabric that I purchased from Quilting Company. All right, so I had 2 pieces of fabric that I purchased from Quilting Company that I did not like. And you might ask, why do you have fabric that you didn't like? Why do you purchase fabric that you didn't like? Well, that's the thing about when you go on their sale. Some of them are so fast that you just have to make quick decisions. So I knew I needed this burnt orangish color. I wanted a burnt orangish, sort of a reddish orangish color. And they were having this flash sale and they were selling 5 yards of fabric for a really reasonable price. And so I quickly put the number in. I saw the color come up and I quickly put the number in and they called my name. And when I looked at the fabric, I was like, does that thing have cowboys on it? Cowboy hats and boots? What am I going to do with that? And horses? What am I going to do with that fabric? Anyway, so the fabric came in the mail and it did have cowboys and horses and so on. I will insert a picture of the fabric here, and the fabric was the perfect color, but the pictures on it would not be anything that appealed to me in any way. So I had it 5 yards of this lovely fabric that I would never use. So I went on Fabric Share USA and I posted the fabric and I said I would love to exchange this fabric for some floral fabric of any color. And someone came on and said, yes, I have these 2 pieces of fabric that are just over 5 yards that I'm willing to exchange, to trade with you. And so I sent my fabric to them and they sent their fabric to me. And this is what she shared. So this is the first piece of fabric. And it's called Autumn Fair. Autumn Fair by Thimbleberries. And this is just over a yard. Just over a yard of fabric of this fabric. Sorry. And then this one is another one, which I think is so pretty. And I keep saying green is not my color, but recently I've been getting a lot of green, so maybe I should not have said green is not my color. So this is over 4 yards of fabric, but I don't know from which fabric line it is. Maybe if you are familiar with this fabric, you can tell me, but it really does feel like good quality quilting cotton fabric as far as I know. And this is what it looks like. So in exchange for my cowboy fabric, I got these 2 pieces of fabric from Fabric Share USA. All right, so the second piece of fabric that I got was a panel from Quilting, and it was a mystery panel. On the show that particular day, they offered a mystery panel with your purchase. So I opted for the mystery panel, so you had no idea what the panel would look like, but you could get one of any number of panels. The panel I got was a white background with some drawings, just the outline of farm animals. So again, what am I gonna do with that? It's not something that appeals to me. And so I had it sitting in my collection of fabric for some time. And then I put it on Fabric Share USA and asked for a trade of another panel. And someone traded with me. Now the panel that I was sharing was about a half yard. It was about a half yard of fabric on the panel. And the person that offered to trade with me, her panel is about 3/4 of a yard. So I sent a fat quarter that was coordinated well with the panel to her as well. So I sent the panel to her and she shared this panel with me. Now this is a Winnie the Pooh panel. I'm gonna just kind of hold it up. I'll also insert a picture of the panel that I shared with her and I'll show you the panel. So here's the panel. It's a Winnie the Pooh panel. And the reason I was excited about this panel is I've spoken about making some baby quilts for donation. And that's what I want to use this panel for. And it says Pooh's Umbrella Friends panel, Disney for Creative Products Group. Okay, so that's what the panel is, and it's really nice. I'm really excited about this panel and what I'm going to do with it, and I'm really excited about making those baby quilts as well. I've started collecting patterns that I want to use to make those quilts. All right, the last thing I'm going to share with you is the project that I'm working on today. I put together this quilt top sometime last year, and it's made from I actually put the rows together last year, but I sewed the rows together to make the quilt top. I hope that's clear. I'm not sure if I'm making sense. Just last week or the week before, and if you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen the post of this finished quilt top. So I put together the quilt top, which looks like this, and I pieced together flannel for the back. I'm gonna stand so you can see it a little bit better. All right, so I'm hitting the camera, so it's shaking a little bit. These are leftover pieces of flannel that I pieced together for the back of the quilt. So I've made the quilt sandwich, and for those of you that are, you don't know what a quilt sandwich is, it's where you put the front of the quilt that you sew together and the back of the quilt, and then you put some batting, which is this very soft fabric material rather, in the middle, and then you sew them together. And the quilting is when you actually sew on the quilt top in whatever pattern you choose. That's the actual quilting. So I decided that I wanted to hand quilt this quilt. I kind of like hand quilting. It's a way for me to relax, and I don't put myself under any pressure to get it done. I just take my time and I sew and I sew, and I've been using embroidery floss for the hand quilting just because I like it. I like the embroidery floss. Sorry, I went to pick it up. I can get it in a variety of colors, and I just buy the Coats and Clark's packs of embroidery floss from Walmart. So I buy the Coats and Clark embroidery floss from Walmart. This one is a pack of black and white, and then this is a variety pack. And I have my thimble, and I have my needle, and I take my time and I go through. So each of these squares is bordered with a black sash, and so what I've been doing is just sewing in the middle of the sash with the black thread. So you can't really see it on this side, and on the back you can see it in some of the colors. So like you can see it here, you can see. So that's the hand quilting that I've been doing. And then I've been trying to think about a design that I can do in the middle of the video. I have my needle, my thread. I use 2 strands of the embroidery thread. So I use 2 strands. I don't know if you can see that. 2 strands. And yeah. So this is how I do it. This is not a tutorial because I am new to this. I'm just learning. But basically it's a very neat and precise basting stitch, in my opinion. This is how I was taught to baste back in the day when I wasn't paying very much attention to needlework at school. So yeah, one of the things with it is that I guess you should try to make the stitches even, but I don't. This quilt is not for sale, and if it ends up ever being sold, then I hope they appreciate that it's handcrafted and not expect perfection. So this is how I do it. I have one hand underneath. I'm kind of guiding the needle from underneath, and of course I have this hand on top. Usually I'll have a thimble on this finger, but for the sake of this video I am not. I'm finding that when I come up with the thread, some of the batting comes through. Not sure why. Maybe someone can tell me why that happens and how to prevent it, or if that's normal. But I'm just stitching in the middle of the sashing here between the 2 10-inch blocks, and I'm just going over and under and over and under until I get to the end of the row. And honestly, I am not even paying much attention to whether the stitching is straight in the middle or whatever. This is for relaxation. As Mark the Quilting Marine says, it's just some needle, it's just some fabric, and it's just some thread. Alright, so I finished this row, and what I've done is just run the needle through this stitching here, and then I'm going to snip it off and start another row. This is my little container that I keep my supplies for hand quilting in. Alright, so that's it, and that's it. One day when I'm more confident, I will do a full tutorial on my hand quilting. So that's it. So each of these rows of sashing has been hand quilted in all the black areas. So the last thing that I need to do now is to come up with a design that I want to do, and I'm wondering if I should use a variety of colors. Like this block is pink. Should I use pink on it and do some arcs? Or maybe I should just do diagonal stripes, or maybe I should do an X. I don't know. So give me your ideas. I have this orange block next. Should I quilt it in orange? I don't know. All right, so that's me hand quilting. And thanks so much for your indulgence. I'll see you.